Gunline. Fire mission coming down. We got a special one for you here on the Gunline podcast. I'm your host, Lopez. And with me today, I have an infantryman of all things. I like to call it infantillery, honestly, because I think he probably did more in his artillery life than infantry life. But with that said, before we move on to him, I just want to thank you all for joining us here and popping the squat with us. It definitely will get hot today. So let's just go ahead and move on along. I'd like to introduce y'all to a fine young man here. Can't tell that he's that young because that little majestic beard. But we have Mr. Anderson here. Spent quite some time with us in 277 FA, where we linked up out of Fort Carson, which is pretty odd being that he's a Ranger tabbed as well. So we'll get into that as well. So how you doing today, Smoke? How you doing?
I'm good. Hey, first of all, I just want to say, for me to be able to achieve that coveted nickname of Smoke as an infantryman, that for me really kind of set the tone for the rest of our deployment. And I'm sure we'll get into that, but I appreciate it, Danny. My name's Jesse, and I'm looking forward to popping the squat with y'all today.
Right on. And we about to get hot. So just so y'all know, it might look like Chinese or some kind of Asian movie from back in the days because the lips are moving and the sound is delayed, but it is what it is. We make it happen. So yeah, man, for those that don't know you, it's good to hear that you're doing well out there as a civilian now, right?
Yeah. I'm a DoD civilian, still working for the Army as a, let's just say I work for ROTC. I started off at the brigade level recruiting right after I retired. That didn't really work out for me. My supervisor was pretty difficult. So I was like, peace out. I'm going to do something else. And then I had like 3 other people that were like, hey, man, why don't you think about taking this job? And it's got a fancy title. It's called executive assistant. But basically, I'm just a secretary.
Okay. Like the assistant to the regional manager from.
That's right. Yeah, I'm Dwight Schrute Farms.
There you go. So for those that don't know you, why don't you tell us a little about yourself? What's your story?
Well, for all those lovely listeners out there, you probably have somewhat of a past, just like me and Danny here. Everyone's got their story, but I was a 17-year-old punk that didn't know what he was going to do with his life. Barely graduated, and then walked into the recruiters, and this recruiter was like, "Hey, you like camping?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I like camping." Like, "Hey, you like shooting guns?" "Yeah, I go hunting with my dad all the time." "You want to jump out of airplanes?" I'm a little kid from Omaha, Nebraska. I'm like, I ain't never flown on no airplane, but yeah, sure, whatever. And then the airborne infantry is for you, son.
Got him.
Yeah, exactly. First time I flew on a plane was to basic training at the home of the infantry, Fort Benning School for Boys. And then the second time I jumped out of one.
Oh, wow.
So I did 20 years active duty, Army infantry. As Danny said, I did some pretty hua things. I don't think I've really said that word too much since I've retired.
I don't think I've actually ever heard you say that until now, to be honest.
Well, yeah, because in 277 it was
still. Good.
Yeah, so I'm airborne ranger, all that other good stuff, and I got my I Love Me. I'm actually in my I Love Me basement right now. But so let's fast forward to Carson.
Oh, well, let's pump the brakes a little bit there. So you were 17 when you joined the military?
Yeah, man. My parents had to sign me in.
Oh, wow. What year was that?
1998.
Wow.
Some of our young listeners may not have even been born yet.
Yeah, no doubt. Jeez Louise, damn.
So my parents were pissed. Like, I'm this little white boy from Omaha,
mhm.
and their son's gonna go off to learn how to kill people. My dad's like, "Oh, you need to be an MP, this and that." I kid you not, man. They made me watch Full Metal Jacket, Platoon. Um, gosh, what's the other one? Apocalypse Now. They
Jesus.
made me watch all those movies. We rented them from Blockbuster. Y'all don't know about Blockbuster.
Wow. You went back to Blockbuster days. So wait a
That's
minute.
right.
Did your parents know that they were just pretty much just pumping you up to go infantry at that point? Because I mean, those movies are pretty motivating to want to go out and do some.
Yeah, man. Yeah, they were like, they're supposed to be like, oh well, yeah, it's gonna deter him. We're gonna scare him. Like, no, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Hell yeah! So after you did your OSUT, and then did you go? You went airborne immediately right afterwards,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
then did you go to Ranger School right after that, or was that further along your career?
Yeah. No, it was later. My first duty station was Fort Bragg,
Okay.
and that's kind of where I got my teeth cut. Is that where you cut my teeth? Yeah, pop your cherry.
Oh, I've
Whatever the
heard
phrase
that
is.
one. I've never heard my teeth cut. Okay.
Yeah. But you grew up real quick, land of E4 Mafia there.
Right on.
But I've always had a mouth, so it was it was interesting.
Okay. So cool beans, cool beans. And then you ended up going Ranger or to Ranger School. And
Yeah.
so immediately after you completed that course, were you offered the position to work as an instructor there, or how does that work?
That's a really good question. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to brag just a little bit. Am I allowed to flip my camera?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
dude.
show y'all something.
This is
I'm gonna show
this is
y'all a little
time.
something something. First of all, hold up, let me find it. Where's that? So, not to brag or anything, enlisted honor graduate of United States Army Ranger Course, Staff Sergeant. Can y'all see that?
Yes, can.
Staff Sergeant Jesse Anderson, Class 1105. So, I bring that up because, at one point in my life, for about 62 days, I was actually kind of awesome. They probably voted for me by default.
Really?
Danny, you might remember this one.
Haha. Wow, I did not even know y'all had that.
Where? Hold up. Where are you? I'm trying to
I'm
find you.
probably not on that one. That was probably
Oh
your
yeah,
maneuver platoon.
yeah, that was maneuver before we hooked up
Yep.
at Danbury, where I got schooled. But anyways, so I graduated, November '05, and then that very next year, I was a RI in Florida in the swamp phase.
Nice. So I'm sure they take only the fucking best of the best to do.
Again, I think I was a bit of an anomaly, but I was with some really, really good dudes, and I learned a lot from there. And I can remember, being in Florida, looking around at all these guys from the Ranger Regiment, Third ID, um, you know, Italy. Some dudes had mustard stains.
Oh wow.
Um, you know, there of course there's the bragging Campbell tension, but like I'm looking at all these guys that have come across the army. I'm like, wow, I am actually able to stand here with these guys.
Right.
And it really kind of hit me like, hmm, maybe I am all right.
That's pretty awesome, man. I mean, that kudos to you. I mean, Ranger School is not an easy cakewalk, and to go to that position to actually be able to instruct in that, I think that's bomb ass shit right there. That's good shit,
I
man. I mean,
appreciate it.
artillery is still better, but I mean, good stuff, man. Good stuff. So, I'm guessing due to your time as an instructor, how long did that tour last?
So I did about 3 years there as a walker, um, and I there's always a pecking order,
Okay.
right? Like never ever forget that. In the army, uh, active's better than guard and reserves, and
Right.
then when you get in the army, it's like uh, artillery's better than infantry. And then in artillery, it's like, okay, light's better than heavy,
Right, right. Of
you know, et cetera, et cetera. So there's always a pecking order.
course.
Quick story.
Sure.
Um, so I remember being in Florida and I was a staff sergeant and I'd been there for probably almost a year. And, you know, if you're the new guy, like you clean the bathroom. There was no, there's no like service, you know, for trash and sweeping and mopping and all of that stuff. Like you're it. Like that's it. So, you know, hey, new guy, you gotta pay your dues.
Right.
And so about a year in, we got this sergeant first class, and he came, and the platoon sergeant, which it's all E6s and E7s,
Okay.
and then like a couple of captains, and then a first sergeant and a captain commander. Sometimes they get promoted, you know, waiting for their sequence numbers, whatever. But the sergeant first class comes, and you know, everybody's kind of the platoon sergeant's like, "Hey, new guy, welcome. You know, go clean the bathroom. We're about to get off, and like that's it." And he looks around, and we're all kind of sitting on the couch, similar to like what I'm doing today,
Right.
watching Fox News or whatever.
Right.
And well, actually, back then it was CNN
Yeah.
News with Robin Meade.
Oh, yes. Sexy.
So um, he says, "Hey, man, go clean the bathroom." And some first class like, "Nah, that ain't happening, son." Like, staff sergeant, go clean the bathroom. And
Oh.
me and my buddy, we just sat there and we were like, "That's not how it works around here, sergeant."
That Garrison shit back home.
That's right. That's right. And so the platoon sergeant and this other E7 start getting into it. First sergeant comes and he was like, "Hey, man, go clean the bathroom. Like, he told you what to do. He's in charge. He's your platoon sergeant. Go and do it." And me and Josh just kind of sat there chuckling, like, "Yeah, we got some new meat."
Somebody had to take a nice bite of that humble pie, huh?
That's right.
You know that. Mhm.
So what was I saying before the quick story? You asked me
Oh,
something.
we were discussing how long your tour was there. You said you were a walker.
Yeah. So at the end of my 3 years, I was running Santa Rosa Island, which is like, you know, you got Zodiacs coming across the sound. You're bringing in helicopters. You got 6 platoons
Oh wow.
of Rangers. It's pretty. It's a culminating event because right after that, then they go back to camp and get ready to graduate. But
Okay. What's the washout rate like on that, or the attrition rate in Ranger School?
well, by the time they get to Florida, man, it's pretty low. The first 2 phases have really weeded out the weak.
Okay.
And so the platoons are kind of firing on all cylinders, and it's a really hands-off. You just kind of you got to kind of guide them. But I got some really great memories from down there.
So,
But I was getting ready to PCS,
mm-hmm.
and I couldn't
Oh shit.
decide or if I want to go to Carson.
Okay.
So I asked my lieutenant colonel for a letter of recommendation for warrant officer candidate school.
Oh
But
wow. Okay.
then my sergeant major was working my assignment, and those two ended up talking at one point about Anderson.
Ah.
And they're like, "Wait a second, is he going warrant or is he trying to get to Carson?" Um, and so I got called down to the big man's carpet, and it was like, "Hey, what do you want to do?" And I was like, Carson. So, so I made that decision. I put my warrant officer aspirations to the side just because I don't know, it's just something different.
Right. Right.
And so I was supposed to go to First Brigade. Yes, I was supposed to go to First Brigade at Fort Carson and report in like April.
Okay.
And it was a heavy brigade. And I'm like, oh gosh, like I ain't mech, dude. Like that's
Right.
not what I do. And so my sergeant major was like, "Hey man, why don't you take Op 4? We'll defer you to 4th Brigade at Carson, and you can report in September.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, yeah, that's dope. I can
What
do
year
that.
was that in?
That would have been 2010.
Holy Jesus. There's a lot of timeline skip in between there somewhere. Did you end up getting a deployment in there in between sometime?
Oh yeah, I mean, I spent like 5+ years in Hawaii. Went to Iraq, murked some dudes. Got
Nice.
blown
Wait,
up a couple times.
so you went in as an infantry or did you go as a ranger?
Infantry. I've never been in a Ranger regiment.
Oh, okay.
I have been. I am. What is the term? I am Ranger qualified.
Oh,
Uh, there's a big debate. Back to my original statement. There's always a pecking order.
right. Right. There's always a competition somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Right on. So,
So go ahead.
no,
Sorry.
you're good. Go ahead. I'm interested. I'm listening here.
Oh, so I mean, we can time hot tub time machine if you want, but
We can go back forth. This is your time right here to shine, baby.
all right, man. Well, so I ended up being a platoon sergeant for Op 4, and where I was going with this was that my friend Casey Grahoviak, he was on orders to First Brigade, and he ended up deploying and was killed in action
Oh shit.
that summer. And then my wife and I reported. So you're talking about like a 6-month window where your future really could have been drastically changed.
Right.
And so when I showed up to Carson, probably within like the first couple of weeks, we were going to Casey's memorial, and it really kind of hit my wife then, like, oh snap, this is real,
Right.
because we got married when I was a ranger instructor, and I told her, hey baby, this is like a timeout for me, GWAT's going on, dudes are dying left and right, and
Right.
I'm training rangers in Florida to go out and do great things and lead the army.
Right.
Um, so Casey was a great guy. Um, really, really miss that guy. We weren't like best buds,
Right.
but we did live in the same neighborhood. Our kids played together. We had just been at his kid's birthday party in probably like February, right before they PCS'd, and so
So that was like a big eye opener for your wife and your
Amanda,
as well.
yeah.
Honestly,
hmm
at the same time, because was that the same slide you were going to be taking if you would have gone?
No, but I mean, we were going to the same brigade. I'm not sure, but that brigade
Oh,
deployed.
time.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Damn.
but let's rewind. So, young Jesse Anderson left Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Oh, this is a good story too. So, 9/11, right?
Right.
Specialist Anderson at Fort Bragg uh, is getting ready to PCS. Believe my report date was December 10th, I think. And I was going to take like 60 days.
Hmm.
But 9/11 happened.
Mm-hmm.
And, back then in the barracks, everybody spliced off of one dude that paid cable.
Right.
It's not like today where, you can just stream. People, they steal Wi-Fi now. We stole cable.
Right.
But when that happened, we were on East Coast time, and it was right in between PT and first formation. So
Right.
everybody's showering. The married dudes are using single dudes' rooms to change. Sarge is yelling at you, whatever. Playing video games. I think we played Goldeneye at the
Yeah.
time. And so 9/11 happened, and we were, on 18-hour sequence where America's just been attacked. Like, they're gonna send the 82nd.
Right.
And the next day, I want to say it was the next day. Um, we were going down to Green Ramp, and I I'm getting all kind of confused here, but something happened where we went down to Green Ramp. No, boys, we ain't going yet. And if my memory serves right in my history, I don't believe the 82nd went to Afghanistan until like December, January-ish of 2002. Like that's when the dust kind of settled in America. We had set our sights on the Taliban. Like we knew who it was, Osama bin Laden. Okay, now we're gonna go forth and just F dudes up.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, Jesse Anderson, he's PCSing. We'll say what? Nah, no. I'm going with you guys.
Opportunity, yeah.
And I had already cleared CIF, and I was like, I'll take this broke dude's equipment, whatever. He's got broke leg, or this guy's a turd, whatever.
Right.
But in between 9/11 and December, we were like getting ready to. We were on the short and final to conduct EIB. I'm talking like within a week. And for those that might not know, EIB is the Expert Infantryman's Badge, which back then, before the Combat Infantryman's Badge, was like the rite of passage. Like you had your EIB, man, you were made man.
Right.
So we kept testing, and that was actually my third time. And was I on PCS leave, or I was getting ready to PCS like that Saturday after the road march. But I ended up getting my EIB and PCSing to Hawaii.
Okay. So the 82nd ended up going without you then?
Yeah, and I sat, basically on Waikiki Beach drinking beer and watching the war go on with my boys, eating pizza.
Right.
And didn't really get the call. Until Iraq popped off in 2004.
Oh, okay. So you went in 2004 to Iraq?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I was there February 2004. No, January 2004 to February 2005.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was a 15-monther.
What part?
So we were in Kirkuk, which is north of the Sunni Triangle, north by northwest. Yeah. But that was a long deployment.
Right on. Yeah. Shit. I didn't get there till till the end of that year, 2005. I got there in December 2005. But we just did a 1 year till December 2006. Right.
Yeah,
on.
just for 1 year.
Yep.
Was that Private Lopez?
That was PFC Lopez.
PFC. Oh, man, pardon me.
That was PFC Lopez, and he stayed PFC and didn't get his daggone promotion because he decided to get drunk while he was out there and got busted. So,
got him.
I did. Since we're showing our awards, I did earn. And I say earned because it was not a mortar that hit, but I did earn that bad boy.
There you go.
PFC
nice.
Was actively engaged, not just had a mortar land by the DFAC.
Yep.
So I know it's not the coveted CIB that the infantrymen always say,
Look, man, I just noticed I wore red today. That's got to be that's not coincidence, or it's got to be coincidence.
No, because it's Red Friday.
Right. Remember, everyone deployed.
Exactly.
Hey, go down to the link below and click on the store, buy some merch.
I don't have that many followers yet. I wish I had that, but yes, you guys can go to On the Gunline Teespring store and y'all can buy some merch right there. I appreciate the shout out and the plug. Right on. So you did your tour, you came back. I'm assuming that's when you did your Ranger time out there, and then you finally got back to Carson. So once you hit Carson, how did you end up getting linked up with the frickin' artillery world?
All right, so here's how this went down. So I showed up E7 non-promotable to Carson.
Okay.
Just coming from Florida as a Ranger instructor. And I reported And the sergeant major, Command Sergeant Major Danny Day,
Yeah.
retired now. Great man.
Mm-hmm.
He was my battalion sergeant major at the time, and he was like, "Hey, you know Crack," and that was First Sergeant Kraselic. His nickname was Crack,
Okay.
and he was my first sergeant in Florida. And I was like, "Yeah, Sergeant Major, I know Crack, First Sergeant Crack."
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, he said you're a good dude. You want company? What? What?" It's like, "Yeah, I got a Delta company. Um, it's yours if you want it." And I was like, "Oh," because I was thinking like, I was gonna finish my platoon sergeant time because
Right.
I only had platoon sergeant time as Op 4 in Florida.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, bet. So I took Delta Company 112 in 4th Brigade, which is now disbanded. We'll get there. But showed up, and here I am, this non-promotable E7.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in charge of Delta Company. And then all of a sudden, we're coming down on orders. Brigade's getting ready to deploy.
Mm-hmm.
The Master Sergeant Board had just convened, and we were waiting for the results.
Right.
So Danny Day, I don't know. I guess. Oh, you know what? I do have a map. Let's go over here.
Sure. We love visuals here.
So, can y'all see this? It's a map of America.
There it is, America.
So, just for perspective, though, right? This obviously isn't a map of Afghanistan. But Danny Day, he comes to me and he puts his arm on my shoulder. He's like, "Hey, Jess." I'm like, "Oh, that's not good." He's like, "I got to talk to you." It's like, "I need you to go here in Afghanistan." Like, he's pointing somewhere else, right?
Right.
And it was, was that Torkham
Ah, okay.
in Afghanistan. Actually, let me do it better. Actually, Torkham would be like down here. He's
Okay.
like, "I need you to go here." And I was like, "No, no, 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 no." And I moved his hand. I was like, "Infantry's going up here to Korengal. That's
Right.
where we're going." He's like, "Nah, you're going to go down here." "Nah, I'm going up here, Sergeant Major." So I got told that an actual E8 was coming in to take my company,
Oh,
and that I was going to artillery to train artillerymen for a maneuver mission. And I was like, I'm going to be honest with y'all. At first, I was devastated,
of
like
course.
absolutely devastated. I'm getting ready to take my men to combat.
Right.
And, like that's kind of the pinnacle moment for an infantryman.
Of course. Being able to take them to combat, lead them, and bring them back. That I
That's
get.
right.
I mean, wow.
So,
That was a bubble burster for you.
yeah. Yeah. Let's just say there was a lot of disdain for that man
I'm sure.
that came in.
Well, that and the fact, I mean, I'm sure what didn't help your cause was the fact that you were a trainer before. So you had the
Yeah.
experience in the Op 4. So,
Yeah. So I ended up going over to Bravo Battery 277 FA
Black Sheep. Steel.
Black Sheep with old Mad Mike as the Sergeant Major.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, "Hey, man, you need to take this platoon and get them trained up in like a month." And I was like, "Say what?" So First Sergeant Amaral, Stephen Amaral, was my first sergeant. And what was that crazy dude's name?
Which
Who
one?
was before Martin?
Captain Martin before him?
Yeah. He's on my Facebook. I forgot his name.
Well, I don't know. When
He's over.
it was Ingleby. No.
Yeah. Yep, that's him. So at first it was him, and then we got Todd Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Great guy.
Loved him.
But we had a good team, and so we ended up training up, and it was all new, like trying to figure out like what the artillery individuals can do, versus an infantry company, and what the mission is, and what are the assets that are needed. We ended up with a really robust package of individuals going to Afghanistan. So not only did you have your normal platoon, which is in a different configuration than an infantry platoon. You know, you got to take the sections and try to figure out what that looks like, who's doing what. But then we had a FET team.
I was about to say that, and then they go ahead and throw in a FET team on top of that.
Yeah, that's a female engagement team for those that don't know. We had OGO, so like we had 2 S6 dudes. We had medics with us. And so I want to say it was about 40 some people in this platoon. And we had this battle space that we were going to go and patrol and lock down Torkham Gate, which that was Golf Company for the most part, I think, but
Okay.
or HHB, I don't remember, but that's how I got hooked up with the artillery. And I just want to say really quickly, once I figured out how to communicate better with artillerymen, life got much easier. I was very, very frustrated at first trying to communicate.
Like in what ways of communication? What were the barriers?
So like there are, in the artillery world, there are significant checks and balances before that round,
Right.
you know, is out, right? And in my opinion, and this is just Jesse's opinion, and y'all can, you know, hate all you want. But the level of authority in the artillery is one step higher than in the infantry. For example, an E5 in the artillery is like ammo chief and what's
ammo team chief or a gunner
or a gunner, right? But then the chief, the staff sergeant, is the first like real kind of authority to send that missile or send that projectile.
Right.
And so what that does in the artillery community is kind of take that level of authority up a notch. Not to discredit any Sergeant E5 in the artillery world and their authority that they do, but when you're looking at checks and balances from the FDC to the gun line to the actual gun, that's where it really the rubber hits the road. And in the infantry world, the Sergeant E5 has a lot more latitude, I guess, to really kind of make decisions.
Okay.
So why is this important? Why is this important? So in the infantry world, I was able to be a part of that community. And Danny, I'm going to encourage you to try and think of an analogy within the artillery world as well.
Okay.
But in the infantry world, if I say move that chair, a subordinate individual knows that the implied task is to move the chair from, that side of the room to that side of the room. Like they know if I say move the chair, it gets moved over there.
Right.
But because of the checks and balances, I had to be very more specific. I had to be more specific and say, I would like you to move that chair from this position here to that position over there. Like there wasn't that known, that implied, like, okay, here's what he's trying to say.
Right.
When I'm talking to guys like Casey Mendenhall, Jewel, Strayer, like all these guys that were on that maneuver mission with me.
Right.
And so it was kind of hard for us at first, but then I think once I was able to be a little bit more specific, then things ran a lot smoother. But it didn't help. We had that garbage LT. Oh
What?
my gosh, I forgot his name. I don't even remember his name. He was Stormin' Mormon something.
Oh, that's
Lost his
fine.
lost his ID card. Ran over his own nods.
I
Uh,
forgot about that, dude. Oh my God. I mean,
yeah,
you did have a pretty diverse, I guess, for lack of a better term, selection of soldiers with you.
yeah. It was challenging, and I had never worked with girls before. I mean, don't even get me
I felt bad
started on
for
that.
y'all. The claws came out immediately with those females. You
Don't
know,
even, man. Mm, mm,
I still remember when I don't have a dog in the hunt, so I just remember that one black NCO chick was not
mm-hmm.
having a good time there with a little Ranger Reba, and
Yeah,
that one she thought she was special forces, but that's another story. But anyway, yeah, dude. I mean, I guess because in the artillery world, we, like you said, the E5 has, his taskings and duties that he has to do. We just like, I like to have clarity as to what needs to get done. You say move this, okay, I'll move it. Where do you want me to move it to? You know,
right.
because we want to make sure we get it right the first time and not have to do it over and over and over again. Plus,
Mm,
on the gun line, we check, recheck, and check one more time before that round goes down range.
yeah,
We're told attention to detail every damn day from basic training, and at the end of the day, when that round goes down range, there's my rank going with it. So
that's right.
if I
Protecting
give my
me.
if if I give my E5 a tasking and duty to do, I have all trust in that E5 to make it happen. But
Mm-hmm.
I have been, what's the word I'm trying to use? I'm trying not to use curse words. I've been fucked over one too many times by E5, where I have to go and specifically tell them duty by duty what needs to get done. Give them pretty much a checklist.
Yeah,
That's pretty sad.
yeah,
And that right there, my friend, is sad. I mean, they don't have to be, they're just stripe wearers, at the end of the day when it comes to that. But that's just a whole other can of worms with the Army promoting people that had no reason to be wearing that rank. For example, you had one, the black dude. I can't remember his name. Oh my God. What was his name? This guy couldn't lead himself out of a, oh God.
Was that Hardaway?
Yeah, that's his name.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. That guy, I have no idea how he put stripes on. He was a danger to everyone around him and himself.
I don't know how he got into the Army himself. I mean, literally, he was retarded. I'm
I'm
sorry.
pretty sure he was.
I'm not trying to be, I'm not using the term as a derogatory term. This guy was literally slower than, I mean, I think retards would call him retarded. But anyways, that guy was fucking something else. And to put stripes on that man puts too much authority or too much responsibility on him that he couldn't handle, you know?
Yeah. And it was overwhelming to him, and he would just absolutely completely shut down. I can remember, not specifics, but I can remember times of trying to give him encouragement in a simple mission of completion to build the confidence to
Right.
be able to lead, and he balked every time.
Wow.
So
That's really a shame. I mean, it's awesome though, that me and you think alike on that. To build somebody's confidence, you just give them small tasks that are
mhm,
achievable, and that just builds up their confidence and their ability to get a more responsibility completed.
mhm,
Like Schnabel. Schnabel is somebody who I had some peers telling me, like, why are you putting him as a gunner? Why are you putting him as a gunner when I had my section back on in Carson? And I was like, because I believe that he can do it. You know what I'm saying? And now
yeah,
Schnabel is a sergeant first class out in Bragg. So
really,
yeah, he went.
look at that.
Oh, I was proud when I saw that. To me, I'm getting the chills just thinking about it. But it's awesome to see your Joes,
Yeah,
achieve a certain level, and I thought
yep,
that was cool as hell. So,
that's awesome.
yes, sir. So yeah, man. I mean,
So let's talk about Ganberry.
oh God, Well,
So
let's bring up
go ahead.
Gapberry. Yes.
You,
Oh my God.
um, so I'm not sure. Oh, I'm getting out of view here. I'm
Uh,
not sure like how much we can or can't say. So I'm gonna try
I'll
and keep
say
it.
everything. Two tears in a bucket. Fuck it.
So uh, me and the boys were out at Torcom,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, "Yo, mission complete. Y'all are moving." And I was like, "Say what?"
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we ended up moving to Ganbury, which was this place where they were going to start um, the D-30 artillery school for the Afghans. Never been done before, right? Or they had at least maybe conceptualized it and started it and thought about it, and maybe some things were in place, but like a real U.S. Army training force had not really tackled that just yet.
Right.
And so Bravo Battery was assigned to Ganbury with one platoon up at, oh gosh, they were up with the infantry.
You talking about the ones that were over at Monty?
Katmani, yes. With Rivera and Keith Fine and all them dudes. Shout
Mm-hmm.
out to that platoon. I don't know how much time we have, but I would love to talk about them dudes.
Oh, we can.
Um,
There's no time limit on here.
so we get over to Ganbury, and they're like, "Yo, look over that wall right there. See that? That's where the Afghans are." And I said, "Do what?" No, 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 no. We are not going to live that close because green on blue was like it
Mm-hmm.
was getting buck wild in other places.
Yeah, it was.
For those that don't know, green on blues when green, which was the Afghan army, would attack and they would have some insurgents or whatever pretend to be police or in the guard or whatever it was that they have in their army and get behind lines and pow pow pow. Um, So we get over to Ganbury and they're like, "Yo, hey, I need y'all to learn this D30 and then go ahead and turn around and teach it to these fellows." And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Hey, First Sergeant, like, I'm infantry, right? Like, I don't even know 119ers, let alone D30s."
I mean, you call for fire all day long. You just
Yeah,
have to get there.
yeah. I mean, I could call a fire mission. Um, Probably not correctly because you know
Spend
we
some
have our abridged version and artillery FDC's just sitting there shaking their head like, okay, I think we know what they're trying to say.
right.
Um,
Oh my
but
God.
yeah, man, Ganbury it was really strange. We would get up stupid early and go over and train the Afghans before the heat of the day really hit. Because then, you get about 4 hours and they quit, man.
Well, that and it was also Ramadan when we first started training them.
That's right. Yep.
So we had to get up like at the ass crack of dawn, like you said, and then hump over there, get everything
Yep.
set up, and then try to train these people. And then,
And
of
maybe they
course,
would show up.
oh God. And then they had the genius crew of the supposed Mike Golf. I'm going to drop his name, Atchison, who had no idea. I think you know more artillery than he does. Um, and that genius tried to fucking tell me that I'm teaching him wrong how to read a compass, and how to. Anyway, that's a whole other story. Me and
Yeah.
Mendenhall discussed that one on his. But yeah, and it's funny you say they gave us like 2 weeks to go ahead and learn this piece,
Mhm.
and remember it was me, Medina, Jewel, Christian. I think we were the only ones that were
Yeah.
up, and everything that they gave us, they basically just should have told us go and learn on your own because they weren't teaching us shit. They didn't know anything
Yeah.
about it either.
Yeah.
And
Hey, figure it out.
yeah, pretty much. And luckily, artillery is artillery, no matter what.
Mhm.
So, but there were some of the things that they wanted us to teach them that absolutely made no fucking sense. For example,
Mhm.
now that you learn the aiming circle and whatnot, and you learn some of the artillery terms, they wanted us to teach them reciprocal lay. which absolutely made no sense to me why we were teaching them reception.
No. Why?
Exactly.
It's not necessary. Like, we'd be good to point it in a good cardinal direction,
Right.
you know?
Shoot there. You know,
Yeah.
need. Dude, it was fucking ridiculous. Then teaching them how to fire off a collimator out of them and aiming.
Hmm.
These guys barely know math, and you want me to teach them SAMs? Are you serious? it, it was retarded. It was just retarded. And then not only that, we had those people that were Pashto that only spoke that and
Hmm.
Dari. So somehow or another, we had to get them to speak to each other. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was good.
There's like 3 different words for the same thing. You got the English word, the Dari word, and the Pashto word.
Right.
And, you know, you got to like try and communicate it all around. And like, how are these guys even a section? At least put the same type of people together so they can communicate.
Right. Oh, and then I remember the NCO that they had for me from the Afghan side. Like his section didn't even respect him. You know, the only one that got the respect was the one that with the balls, and I can't remember his name either. I got a picture of them, but you know, he was the one I made the gunner because that fool knew what he was doing. He was on point. He was willing to learn. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, so it was bad enough for you already coming to from infantry to an artillery land, and then from there having to learn not just any piece, but a piece that nobody knew about.
Hmm.
We're trying to learn. It's like the blind leading the blind at some point, you know.
Yeah. Yep. And, you know, I can remember like, I mean, I'm gonna be honest and be like, hey, y'all need to kind of just like go and figure this out because like I am way out of my element here. And you know, there's a lot of times I felt kind of like a glorified guardian angel. I would make sure that you guys had your training aids and your whatever period of instruction for the next day. What are you guys gonna work on?
Right.
Make sure the trucks are good and you know there's like security set. And then I would get y'all over there and I wouldn't have nothing to do. I would just like rotate around from gun to gun. And I remember hanging out with Gunny Atchison a couple of times. Well, maybe just Atchison. I don't know if he used Gunny, but
Oh no.
yeah, we figured out that aiming circle was backwards, or it was like upside down or something in Russian.
Right.
Like dang thing was in Russian.
Russian.
So
Oh
yeah.
my God. And then
I ain't gonna lie though, man. I had a great schedule. We would get up stupid early, go and train until like lunchtime, and then go and eat lunch, go back, take a nap. I would take at least an hour nap,
yeah.
and then go and work out for like 2 or 3 hours, do our night meeting, and play cornhole until I got tired.
Cornhole. Yeah, see, I mean, rank has its privileges because that's what at one point I remember fucking Mendoza got an itch in his ass to, go ahead and just secure the fob even more. So we were just putting more C wire all around the fob.
Yep, I remember that.
But then the worst of it all was when we had to do those stupid roaming guards at nighttime.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Oh yes.
There was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it was crazy. Probably because of the girls, I think is what it was. Girls didn't feel safe going to the gym. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know, but it was retarded. I mean, how was it working with a female engagement team, if you can give your honest opinion on that? Did they actually do anything that was helpful or beneficial for the infantry maneuver platoon?
So we're going there. All right.
You could keep, I mean, if it's one you don't want to touch, that's cool. I'll throw in my 2 cents, though. Again, I don't got a dog in the hunt. So what happened, what everyone said was going to happen, ended up happening, which was eventually there will be some shenanigans going on. And that's to include the Faustus, who, are now happily married and have 2 kids, beautiful kids. But, of course, it happened, which everybody knew it was going to happen. And that's what would happen if you integrate females into a all-male unit. It's not the politically correct thing to say, but it's going to happen. Male and females just, attract to each other.
That's what they do.
Yep.
So for me, I'll say this, man. Never working with females was quite a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So short story, Iraq 05, the elections are going on.
Mm-hmm.
First free elections for Iraq. And they had brought all of the support soldiers out to our safe houses, and they guarded our safe houses while we were out in the city doing roving patrols, manning the polling sites, like protecting the populace. Right. And I get this call. It's like, hey, Bull, I don't remember what it was. I think 1-3. Hey, Bull 1-3 needs you to go to the Crab, which is the Kirkuk Regional Air Base, and go pick up a package. And I was like, all right, bet. So I go and I pick up this package, and I walk into the battalion headquarters, and I get handed a brown paper bag. It's like little, it's like this big.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. Take this bag. It needs to go to, I don't know, wherever location, like Alpha Company or something.
All right.
Roger that, sir. 10-4. And get in the truck, driver. Let's go. Of course, curiosity killed the cat. And I opened it up. Danny, what was in that bag?
I'm thinking a finger.
No. We're talking about girls.
Tampons. Fuck.
I had just run a combat patrol about 4 miles through the middle of the city in the middle of the night to bring an item to a soldier that needed it. But I had put all of my men at even higher risk during a high-risk time. And I was furious, absolutely furious. And so I got to my destination, and I don't remember if it was a lieutenant or sergeant. It didn't matter. Right. I mean, they came out and they're like, hey, thanks, Sarge. And they got it up and down, custom up and down.
Oh,
because, and I'll tell you why. And it's not the actual item. It's not I'm not sexist. It's the fact that a leader did not do their job in, being engaged and doing a layout and stuff like that. Like basic soldiering leader stuff. And I actually kind of carried that over to artillery.
Yeah.
Because when we were getting ready to go, I don't remember, we were going to a field problem. FET team had just arrived. We're going to be gone for whatever, 5-7 days. I don't remember. Like, hey, I know this is an uncomfortable conversation, but do you guys have your female stuff that you may need, if you're going to start? And little Jane High Speed, she's like, we call them pencils. We can just use a code name pencils. I was like, fine, whatever. You got your pencils. Right. And they're like, yeah, I got them. I'm like, let me see them. And they're like, what? Oh my. Like, how many do you have? I'm your leader. I'm going to check you. And that's it. Like,
exactly.
One sports bra is not going to do it for, a week. Like, you're gonna get a rash, then you got to go and see the medic, then you might be out of commission and not part of the team. Like, proper hygiene, like all of these things. And we just had to have like a real conversation about that stuff. And of course, the black girl, I forgot her name. Okay. She was like stupid offended, right?
Of course.
But Orders and Faust, they were good. Faust just kind of like, oh yeah, whatever. But so
Faust makes me laugh. I mean, Faust was one of those like, I'll go where you want me to go.
Yeah, like, okay, yeah, here we go.
Oh God.
So dealing with a female engagement team as an infantryman, it wasn't difficult, but it was definitely new territory.
Right.
So.
Well, I mean, with that said, it's not even just as an infantryman, just in combat arms specific.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
you know, I'll be damned if, you know, I remember when I had my section, I would tell them like, hey, if we get females, we get females. It is what it is. But, you know, no special fucking treatment. They pack it, they carry it, and,
Yep.
you know, they're going to go through all the same shit, and that's all. But you're going to respect them. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear no bullshit, you know, about, oh, we're better than you or whatnot. No, we're going to make shit happen. However, my biggest gripe with that would have been, if I would have still been in and that shit would have been integrated, would have been our job when we hear march order, especially in the light world.
Oh, march order!
Exactly. I ain't got no motherfucking time to be waiting for me to take down a pop-up tent that we had to put for a fucking female because she's uncomfortable to get dressed or undressed in front of males. You know, when we're out in the fucking field, we sleep, you know, whether it's bucket naked or whatever, under the net in the back of the Humvee, and we're ready to go. So that's the type of shit, making any kind of changes for them is what I was really more against. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it. It makes total sense.
But I mean, then again, they don't ask the first line leaders how we feel about these changes. They go straight to the top brass because they know what's going on the gun line. So, but whatever.
My my FET team experience goes past 277.
Oh.
Yeah, when we redeployed, I had made Master Sergeant. I actually got pinned, and I was getting ready to take Alpha Company 112. I was going back to my home battalion,
right.
Which, by the way, you know, showing back up after a 9-month deployment, like, hey guys, remember me? I swear I deployed too, you know.
Right.
So I was going to take Alpha Company, and it's PCS season after deployment, right? Like everybody's coming down on orders, new people are coming in, and I'm Alpha Company, which, by the way, did you know? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter because we were in 277. 112, they like renamed all of their companies like stupid stuff. Dog Company it used to be Dog.
Okay.
They tried to make it Delta. They just deactivated that company like last week. They're Dolphin, like Dolphin Company.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, man, like an infantry company.
Infantry
Anyways,
of all things.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, so
they're all like fins up. I'm like,
nothing
that's stupid.
intimidates the fucking enemy like a goddamn dolphin.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, so I'm missing a senior medic, and I go down to HHC, and I'm like, yo, who is the most senior medic? Do you remember who was a medic on the FET team? High speed Rebecca Orders.
Oh God, yeah.
So she's a sergeant now, and I'm like, well, all right, I guess, you know, that's it. She's the most qualified non-commissioned officer,
right?
And I want her as my lead medic.
Okay.
This was before like gender neutrality, transgender wasn't out yet. Like girls aren't supposed to be in combat arms, you know, like nothing. We're about to pave the way. Oh, by the way, I'm PCSing in the next probably 2 months.
Oh God.
But we do like this really jacked up sharp training. I don't know what way to put it, because I had to prepare the boys. I'm like, hey, we got a girl coming. Y'all better get your minds right. And they're like, F that, and wiener this and all this other stuff, right? So I get a whiteboard, and I wrote down every single vulgar thing that I could think of that I had heard through the years in infantry or in an all male community.
Yeah.
What's an example? That's what she said, right? Things like that. Dude, it was like rated X. And we did round robin training by platoon, preparing for this female medic to come in. she had been there a couple of weeks, and then I was like, "Hey, man, I'm going on PCS leave. Peace out. Good luck, Matt O'Neill."
Dude. Yeah, I
Hmm.
saw that she has a Purple Heart. She got wounded in action.
Oh yeah, that's right.
How?
I remember that. She was with not Timmerman. It was with Matt O'Neill. Yeah, there was a. I want to say there was a V bid that hit a main gate or something like that.
Hmm. I'm just wondering, is it one of those that are actually earned, or was it, I got tinnitus?
Unknown.
I'm just saying, I mean, she ended up getting a fucking combat medical badge for saying, "Are you okay?" after an IED blew up way behind her. Because I remember, what was his name? Dieterle? No, what the fuck was his name? Deister. I think it was the medic. He was fucking livid because, there's medics that actually earn that shit in the
Yeah,
middle of fucking combat, getting fucking shot up trying to save another Joe. And here's somebody
yeah,
that, said, "Hey, are you all right?" Inside a fucking MRAP after an IED blew up behind her, way behind. But hey,
yeah,
that's nor here nor there, I guess. If those were, I don't know. I just hate shit like that. You know what I mean? Shit's supposed to be,
yeah. Agreed.
it's like me
I
going.
mean,
It's like me going to the PX or to clothing sales and saying, "Hey, well, I was led by a Ranger tab man, so I'm technically a Ranger," and putting that on, at least in my opinion, That's that.
hey, so we mentioned Monty,
Oh yeah,
right? Cop Monty.
yes sir.
Let me interview the interviewer. How did you feel being on Ganberry when them boys were getting their gun on up in Monty?
Oh shit, I'll tell you straight out from the get. Let's recall that we're gonna leave some things out because some people don't know certain things, but there were some situations that had occurred prior to deployment, which uh, had caused me to be at JAF for the first portion of deployment.
Which you
As a,
did great at, by the way.
no, I didn't do a fucking thing there in JAF. But I appreciate that. You know what I did in JAF? I stayed up all night contemplating. I bullshit you not. I contemplated suicide about 3 or 4 fucking times there because I was alone at night inside the A-lock. Nobody there, nothing to do because the day shift all slept. So they old Smash wanted me to be there at nighttime in case something ever happened, which nothing ever fucking happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I was there literally. I bullshit not. Medina reached out to me like, "Hey bro, are you okay?" Because I was on Facebook like just fucking going nuts. And I told him, "Nah, dude, I'm fucking not. I'm honestly, I was going over inspection arms with my weapon just to keep my mind occupied." And finally, it got to that point where I was like, "What the fuck did I do with my career? What am I doing with my life?" I I was about to suck a fucking bullet. I'm not even bullshitting on that. The lowest point that I got to was when I was checking fucking IDs outside the DFAC. That right there fucking killed me. I mean,
Oh man.
I was close. But what ended up happening, thankfully, was that Ganberry mission opened up. And so they were like, "Well, who do we got?" And it was either me or I forget the other guy that was doing the ammo. And they were like, "Oh, so Sergeant Major selected me." I'm like, "All right, cool." Bro, I jumped in a heartbeat. I thought they were bullshitting me like, "Hey, you get to go do artillery shit. Let's do it." And so,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got happy and yeah, I wasn't, slinging rounds down range like every artillery man wants to fucking do in combat, but I was happy that I was given the opportunity to go to Ganberry. You know, that
Yeah.
that I honestly believe saved my life. Because it could have gone a lot worse. But
Man, I didn't know that.
oh yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't know about that stuff. Like I said, honestly, I could count on my hands well, now everybody knows, but on my hands who knew about that because it was a really, really rough time. Like I think about it, I had just gotten into some shit and then on deployment, got nothing but thoughts in my head, you know,
Yeah.
and an idle mind is the devil's playground, you know?
Fact.
And so thankfully I was able to do that mission. But yeah, dude, I jumped on the opportunity. I remember Captain Martin said, "Hey, I'm going up to Cop Monte. Anybody want to come?" I raised my hand, and I'm not gonna lie, I was hoping that maybe, you know, we could get that fire mission to come in there while I was there. I wanted, like you said, like for the infantrymen, you know, getting that CIB, going out there, doing your fucking job. That's the ultimate goal, you know.
Yeah.
I got to fire rounds down range when I was in Mosul in 2009, 2010. I don't know what those rounds were for. I mean, I know I burnt down an island. You know, we fired some rounds and hit an island or some shit with some alludes.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't know what they were. In Monty, them boys were slinging rounds down range pretty much on the daily, you know?
Oh, man.
So
Daily.
I would have loved to have been I mean, I was jealous. You know, I was fucking jealous. I mean, because you had, who were the chiefs there? It was a Medley, and who was the other chief? Oh, fucking TC, Torres Cortez.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, Torres Cortez.
Yeah. So they were both outstanding chiefs, you know.
Yeah.
So
Really good.
I wish I could have been there, dude. Even if they would have sent me down to any other fucking post to go sling rounds, I would have been happy. Monty, of course, was the pinnacle of it all. In Hanukkah Miracle, all those other places.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's why I tell people, like, my deployment to Afghanistan wasn't really a deployment. You know, I went to be a teacher and to teach monkeys how to fire artillery.
Yeah. I actually got to go up to Katmani, and that was my home battalion, whatever, 112 Bravo company. So like I knew the first sergeant, like we were buds. Flavor Dave the Flav. So I got to go and see him, and then hang out with all Rivera and you know, all those guys. They let me lay the guns. I got to fire a fire mission. It was nice. I mean, I ain't trying to rub it in your face or nothing, but there was a fire mission that I got to shoot. Oh, as a matter of fact,
I knew it was coming as soon as I saw your eyes explode. I know it's coming. I'm pretty sure I know it's coming.
It's right here.
Oh, you got to keep the round.
So let's see here. This is the one I fired at Monty.
Nice.
Right here. This is a wrap round that them boys signed for me.
Nice.
Fine, Kirby, Scabbit,
yep.
Torres, Seward.
Oh, Seward.
Mackey, Watkins.
Oh, God. Watkins. Oh, my God.
Vargas, my boy Vargas.
Oh, I still talk to that dude.
And then this one is the one that I fired in Colorado.
Nice. I have one round from Cop Monte, which is this one. This one was given to me by TC's gunner, Velasquez.
Yeah.
It has 3 kills on it. They fired into the mountain fire. Yep.
Nice.
Hell yeah. So, I mean, I'm happy about that one. And, of course, got the old D30.
Oh, you got a D31? I didn't get one.
Yes, sir. Got the old Russian writing on it and all that stuff.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to show our viewers something not too many infantrymen got.
Oh, I knew that was fucking coming. Oh. Yeah, it was well earned, though. It was well earned. It was earned. I mean, trust me, it still irks my heart, you know, that as an artilleryman, I never earned it. But at the same time, you know, if I'm being real with myself, I stepped on my dick. So I'm sure that had a lot to do with that decision. So
that does my spitter. Anyways,
I have my favorite one here. It's a blank from the Pack 70 from when we did the salute battery.
Sideways. Turn sideways. What's it say?
Oh, it's the ones that we use for the salute battery.
Yeah.
So this is the last one we fired for when General Odierno came down. Oh, Ray.
Yeah.
Kept this one.
So, how about firing squad for Sergeant Major and them boys when when there was that insider attack.
Oh, dude.
Do you remember that?
You mean
I don't
Sergeant Major,
remember.
when we got killed over there in when Sergeant Major, right? Command Sergeant Major for
Yeah.
brigade. Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. And then homeboy got the Medal of Honor for that attack.
Dude.
Did you know that there is a special, I think it's called Warfighter package on the new Modern Warfare game that is representative of him, of the
Really?
Medal of Honor winner. Yeah, I can't. Gosh, man, I feel like dirtbag. I forgot what his name is.
So
Captain. I
damn,
don't know.
that's crazy shit. Dude, well, damn, I had a question for you. Oh, so wait. So you got the same barb, but
Yeah,
don't you guys have one too?
yeah, St. Maurice. I got mine. I got that when I left. When I left Campbell, or
Oh,
right before deployment at Campbell.
okay.
And then I got my spurs, my gold spurs from the Cav unit. I never did do like a real spur ride, which is like their kind
The
of,
version of the EIB.
yeah. Oh, I was gonna tell you something though.
Yeah.
Did you know that Mad Mike came and talked to me at Gambury when I was promotable and
Hmm.
said, "Hey, do you want a battery?" Did you know that?
Wow. Was he off his pills when he said that?
He might have been. Uh, I don't know the whole situation, but I had heard that there was some stuff going on in Alpha Battery that was not a-okay,
Hmm.
and I was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
Sergeant Major, you do know I'm infantry, right?" Like, he's like, it's 777s, like, it's personnel management, not a big deal. You
That's
got
why
it.
you got smokes, and that's why you got fucking
That's right.
Mike golf. So
Yeah. He's like, I would need you to just kind of take care of things up there. And I was like, all right, well, whatever. Let me know. I don't even know if Amaral knew that,
wow, dude.
but
Yo, well, no, I mean that's not something out of the ordinary though, because I remember when we replaced the unit out of Mosul back in 2009. Um, the first sergeant for one of those infantry units, I think he was a 19 Delta. No, not whatever the fucking tankers are. They
yeah, 19s.
yeah, he was actually a first sergeant for the infantry unit we were replacing. So I guess once you hit that on that Zulu, or it doesn't matter, or that X-ray, it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, yeah, Zulu. Um, but yeah, that was really strange, and I was kind of like, oh snap, like maybe I'm gonna put my diamond on.
That would
Nah.
have been cool. Put your diamond on ass and artillery, man. You might as well just change your MOS, man. Just take the 13 out of it. Oh man, that's pretty fucking badass though. So let's fast forward you getting out of the military. You ended up doing your time, you got out, and how being that you were in, I mean, 20 years since you were 17, right?
Yeah.
So you got out fairly young, 37. God
hmm
damn, I'm 42 years old, man. Anyway, so um, how has the reintegration into civilian life been working out for you?
Um, it's been okay. When I had a really soft landing coming out, going to the brigade level as a recruiter for ROTC. Unfortunately, that didn't really work out because of my leadership. Um, and last year was pretty tough.
Okay.
That was my first year out. Um, I had just moved from Omaha, Nebraska, where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
I actually retired out of there because I was the instructor at Creighton University in Omaha. So, I got all my family's there, and I'm like, yo, peace out. Like, I'm moving to Chi-Town. So they weren't very happy about that. But I mean, it's only about 7 hours away.
Oh,
But I think that I think it could have actually been a little bit better. But man, like October of last year, man, I was low. I was like really, really low. Um, Similar to you in the ALOC.
how'd you end up
Um,
overcoming that, if at
hmm,
all? How'd you end up overcoming it, if at all? I mean, have you
I
overcome it?
quit.
Oh, okay.
Quit my job. I'm like, you're toxic. Like I'm out of here. I can't communicate with you at all. Um, and you know, transition though I mean, that's easy. Like, um, I actually finished my degree right before I got out. So I have a bachelor's in was it general studies from American Military University.
Right on.
But hey, it's a 4-year degree.
Yeah.
Um, I got rated 100%.
Nice.
So, like I have a cushion, and
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need my job, so I was just like, I don't have to deal with this.
Right.
Um, and so now as a secretary, like I make I make 6 figures to manage somebody's calendar.
Oh shit.
You know,
Yeah, you
I'm
can't
I'm
complain.
straight. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, no doubt. Um,
So,
some people have a little bit rougher integration back. I'm one of those. You
hmm
know, like my biggest issue was coming to, well, I guess it's the environment you work in. Um, I ended up working at a call center. I went straight out, into a call center because
yeah,
I hit the ground running. When I got out, I I ended up finally out January 31st. And I hit interviews. And finally the only one that gave me an opportunity was Nationwide. I mean, USA gave me an opportunity. They had a program called Combat to Claims, but they were
hmm
just taking too long with my background check, and I needed to start working immediately. So uh, March 2nd of that year of 2015, I started working. So luckily my wife already has started working as well, because I mean, if you want to maintain the same lifestyle, or at least financial lifestyle that you had
yeah,
prior, for us, both of us had to work, you know
right,
and so anyways, I ended up in a call center, which lots of females, lots of women, you know
yeah,
and what sucked about it was I would go dressed up, suit and tie and everything, like they taught us an A cap and everything, you know what I mean?
yeah, looking
To
fresh,
feel good, yeah. And
yeah,
that's when
with
they
the chucks,
yeah. No. I wasn't looking good. I wasn't looking good. But what ended up sucking was that started generating hate on me, because they all started saying, oh, he thinks he's better than us. That's why he dresses like that. Or, and here I am staying quiet to myself. I don't say shit to nobody because I don't know them. And I even used to do that when I got to a first unit. I would stand back, scope out the scene, and then little by little work my way in to get them where I fit in.
hmm hmm
So, anyways, then it became known that I was prior military, and all of a sudden, I'm that guy that is probably crazy and all that stuff. And I was unable to talk to them the way I would talk to a normal person. Basically tell them shut the fuck up, because all of a sudden you tell somebody the wrong thing, and it's an HR complaint.
yeah,
You know, I consider myself a pretty social person. Sometimes when I walk by, say hello to people. I would say hello to the
mm
females, and they'd be like if I was trying to hit on them. It
mm.
was just, and then the one that was the biggest eye opener. All right. Let me go ahead and preface this by saying, live how you want to live, do what you want to do. Doesn't bother me, boo boo. But it was like an explosion out of fucking San Francisco had occurred. All right. And
Yeah,
if you're catching my drift here, and I was just like, what the fuck is going on in this world, bro? It was just a complete culture shock for me.
yeah,
And having nobody that I could talk to about this, nobody that I can relate with, it just made it more difficult for me. It was just one of those things where I had nobody to talk to, nobody to vent out to, nobody to have a conversation with that they won't be like, oh, you're an asshole, or why would you think like that? You know what I mean? You know how we're just here shooting the shit? I
Yeah.
had nobody like that here. So that's where this came along from.
So you were doing the bilingual stuff in the call center, right, Cabral?
Right. So I started off just taking claims, and then they found out I spoke Spanish. So they were like, okay, you could take bilingual claims too. I'm like, all right, too easy. Then they found out my proficiency at it. And plus my work ethic was pretty much on fucking point. Like I show up to work on
Yeah.
time, everything military wise, I brought it out,
Yeah.
And what's funny is I sent them my resume and everything. I was overqualified, obviously, for the job that I got, but I needed to get paid. So but yeah, I ended up moving within a year to the translator side, to interpreting. So that's what that's what I'm now. I'm a terp. I'm a freaking terp. And it pays
Where are you, in Tejas?
in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
I love
Good
it
for
out here.
you.
It took some time. It's taken some adjusting. But yeah, it's not too bad, man. It's not too bad. This COVID thing that's going on and around, it doesn't bother me. It's not like I go out anyway. But when I do go out,
I'm
I don't
I'm
mess.
not gonna live in the spirit of fear, man. Like,
Exactly.
if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. Like, the numbers don't lie. Everybody's got it. It's whether you're asymptomatic or not.
Exactly.
And like, I wear a mask because it makes my wife feel better.
Ah.
But like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, I'll take it off. Yeah, I'll wear my mask. Yeah, sure.
I mean,
But
what's next? They're gonna have us in MOP level 4.
yeah, I know, right?
Nah, man, I'm
So
about that life. And then
maybe I'm irresponsible. Maybe I'm a jerk. Oh, you're gonna infect an 80-year-old person. Well, you know what? Then maybe it's time for him to punch the ticket.
bro, you're preaching to the choir. I was reading some shit on the Facebook where they were like, 100-year-old lady or 99-year-old lady dies of COVID. And I'm thinking to myself, no, that old lady died of life.
Yeah, yeah.
It was done.
She had a great run, son.
Right? When you start telling me numbers like, 87-year-old died of COVID. No, he died of old age, bro.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
or there was it's boggling to me how, and now I'm going to go creep onto a different level with this. To me, it's just a way that the government is trying to fucking control people. And that creeps onto the current situation that's out there right now, which to me, in all honesty, they're just taking advantage of this and trying to lead to a more state control country is what I think the final outcome is going to be. But I'll be discussing that more along the midweek memo. Those are just like, bring out the tinfoil, baby, because it gets deep. What do you think that June or July has in store for us?
Oh man. Well, the murder hornets didn't work, so and then the UFOs didn't work.
And they were confirmed. I can't believe that. And it's like we passed that.
I think what people are forgetting, maybe not July, but like June.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if people remember or not, but there's a pretty big trial going on right now with one Miss Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah, isn't she like testifying this week or something? I forgot. It's on the Book of Face, but then it's true. It's got to be true if it's on Facebook.
It's on there, yeah. I mean, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure that's going on. I mean, how is it that our impeached president can continue to lead in an election year through all of this? I mean, I ain't saying, but I'm saying, like, the odds are stacked against him. So it'll be interesting to see what November looks like, and who's going to show up, or who's just going to be a keyboard warrior.
I don't think that that Biden is going to last till November. I think somebody will probably somebody's got to fucking take his spot if there's going to be a chance for the left wing to try to move up.
Well, it might be Mad Dog now.
I would jump out and vote for him. I'm not gonna lie. I would. I, everybody has their opinions. I'm gonna give you mine. I respect General Mattis. I don't agree with everything that he agrees with, but at the end of the day, I will take his word over, the POTUS's word.
Yeah.
And I've always been a firm believer that the president should have some kind of military background.
Yeah, and not dodge the draft.
I wasn't going to say that, but since you brought it up,
Whoops.
careful. The old FBI might be listening to this now.
Yeah.
Nah, but I mean, it's a trip, man. I mean, at the end of the day, I try to tell a lot of people is the left wing and the right wing, they're all attached to the same bird that's taking the shit on us anyway.
Boom.
So, yeah.
Well, for the military, you're raised or encouraged to be green, not red, not blue, but green, right? Like you're all just fighting you're fighting for your country. You love America,
Right.
and I do love America. I'm just tired of all the politics.
Yes.
So
I stopped watching the news, honestly, because you never get real news. What you get is their opinion, whether it's the left or the right. There's no news. There's no news anchor. There's no Walter Cronkite telling us the real news being, completely objective. They're just giving you their thoughts. This person's wrong. This person's right. And in politics, now, the moment that you try to compromise or give a little to get something, you're seen as weak. So, unless I work, even though I'm not gonna lie, I did enjoy that $1,200 fucking COVID cash they sent us. I mean, keep on sending it, baby.
I put it back in the market.
There you go.
So I'm watching the stock market right now.
Well, right now is the time to buy, though, right?
That's right.
Low, so it's time to buy. I mean, hey, no FCC bullshit or FEC shit here. This ain't Martha Stewart over here trying to, give some data.
No, don't. Absolutely, 100% do not take my advice.
Right. Uninformed opinions. Hey, Smoke, man, we done went to an hour and a half.
Man, I could go all night, but.
Oh, I know, so can I. But, I mean, we got to give the listeners some more to come back for.
Heard that.
Are you going to come back and visit us again here on the Gunline?
Yeah, you know it, man. And just real quick.
Yeah, man.
Real quick before we wrap up.
Yeah.
I would just like to say, because I don't know if I ever did really tell you this, but I immensely respect you and the way that you were able to shoot it straight to me, when we were together. Like, I couldn't have appreciated that anymore. Right, wrong, and different, whether I agree with you or not, I could always count on Danny Lopez to shoot me straight, let me know, and we would. I mean, there were a couple of times where we bang it out a little bit. We weren't throwing hands, but I appreciated that, and so I wanted you to know that I really, really respect you, and I want to thank you for having me on tonight.
No, ditto. I mean, honestly, the term smoke doesn't come easily, especially for a cat like me, and you honestly did what you could. First of all, to get a bunch of ragtag people, let's be fucking for real. You got kind of like the shit into the stick, and
Disher
Brown.
Oh man, Hardaway.
Man,
Kramer.
So yeah, you had a lot of leadership challenges, as they like to say, and somehow or another you were able to unite them together and at least accomplish some sort of mission, and and you got out there and did your mission. Then when asked to tackle another one to go be, the guardian angel type shit, you went out there, and it's not like you just sat on your ass. I mean, you actually got out there. There's a picture of me dancing behind you, while you're looking at the aiming circle. So, it took your time and you led, and like you said, nobody's ever going to look eye to eye. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and if you're not getting your ass chewed at least once a fucking week, you're not doing your job because you're not making decisions. So, I mean, hey, I appreciate your leadership that you taught us, and you were out there and you gave us something different, definitely different. But at the end of the day, we learn how to play cornhole at least at the end. So
Heard that.
go big red. I think that's what you always say too, right?
That's right.
Hey man, it has been a pleasure having you on here, man, and thank you for being a listener. Shout outs. Do you want to give to anybody before we dip?
Nah, I mean, I think we've pretty much hit everybody. I want to thank all my artillery brethren for everything that you do out there every day. I may just be a blue cord wearer, but I still got steel in my heart. So thanks to everybody out there.
Well, with that said, man, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to all the listeners. Want to throw out real quick before we end it. On Wednesday, I'm gonna have on the midweek memo. I'm gonna have Marcus, who's a firefighter in Chicago, was here last time. We spoke about what was going on with the COVID. He's gonna go ahead and give us a frontline assessment of what's going on right now with the situation. I'll go ahead and say, being that he is a firefighter, he's out there on the line, and he's gonna give us the real deal what's going on out there in Chi-Town. So make sure y'all tune in to me and Kowalczyk on the midweek memo. And also shout out to Under the Net, which is a podcast by my old chief, Sergeant Juarez. He's been a little delayed here, but he'll be back out there. Make sure y'all go pay attention to him. Same as this, except with a lot less cussing. So anyways, again, Smoke, thanks for being here. Love, peace, and hair. Gosh, shit, I haven't even done how do I do my outro? Rounds complete, in the mission, gun line out.
Still.